Pikers, pikers, pikers. When will you learn? All right, so Tesla's going through this like temporary slowdown, which they've done before. I think I mentioned a couple times that they've actually had whole years with very limited growth. 2023, 2019. And when I say limited growth, they still grew. Okay, since we have 2 quarters, we can now sum. So 2014 looks like it's going to be their worst year ever, if I'm not mistaken. Does Tesla give guidance? I don't think so, right? They kind of do. They give like vague production. So they're gonna miss most people's expectations, including my own, that started in the year. So if you look at kind of like where people were, um, where people are at now, how would my life be different? Is it Wu-Tang? Are you stupid? So the trajectory of automotive product is a lot smaller. Yeah, at the beginning of the year, I thought they could do as much as two point, what do they have? 2.4 million cars or something crazy like that, and now I've got it at 1.8. I think part of the Elon the Elon Republican thing probably doesn't help a little bit. Um, Most companies just have common stock, but some publicly traded companies have preferred stock. Within common stock, some companies have different types of voting shares. So usually one share gives you one vote. But in some companies, depending on your class of common stock, you could have different votes per share. Most companies like Tesla, there's one common stock and that's it. And they all have the same amount of votes. And there's nothing funky. There's no preferred stock, as you can see. No shares issued or authorized. Preferred stock is a kind of common stock that has preference, special treatment to relative to the common stock. So preferred stock, for example, usually has the first claim on cash flow. Usually in publicly traded companies, that's in private companies, I'd say. In publicly traded companies, preferred stock typically has a dividend. Float is a different concept completely. Float is what shares that are tradable. People have different definitions of float, but in general, it just means how many shares are really outstanding, net of the company's treasury shares that it may have purchased. And then sometimes it'll be like float where they exclude a certain shareholder, like an insider or something like that. Yeah, I like Oracle, but it's pumping pretty hard. So this is going to be one of the first, like, let's see here, production. Maybe one of the first down year ever for production for Tesla. This is the Model Y. $31,000 according to their website. It's the Model 3. What's the difference? I'm not a car guy. That's really weird, Joseph. Can you take a screenshot and email it to me? And tell me what browser you're using, and then tell me what operating system? Because that should not be the case. And you can email me, martin@dl.software. Yeah, I was one of the first customers of Thinkorswim. 2005. But I have to try the new product too. There's Model X. X, they basically don't have any sales of S and X, right? They're basically all selling 3 and Y. S and X are just there, but they're not. Cybertruck. Oh, they're acting like that's Mars? Like they're on Mars? Man. I think we should look at GM and Ford and Daimler. Is it even Daimler anymore? It's Stellantis. This is not the site I wanted to go to. Teslarati. This is a website that's like pretty good on Tesla, I think. So is the delivery number coming soon? I don't really think it matters who becomes president. Sponsored content by Mazda. Man. They cut down 3,000 trees? Nice. Cut those trees down. Tesla is listed as the most egregious underminer of democracy by Union. Sweet. Undermine democracy. Consensus is 461 for Q3 deliveries. I've got 466, which looks about right. We're looking at Tesla. Let me put that on the screen. Oh yeah, I gotta look at Axon too. Oh yeah, there's the CPCA data that's good to look at. Maybe I'll make a separate like China tab. There's Giga Shanghai. We got a lot of stuff to look at for Tesla. There's manufacturing. There's Shanghai. I think Shanghai is actually their biggest facility. Most capacity. Are the Tesla Asia cars any different from the... Yeah. Yeah, you got it, Ritual. You got it. You want to do Shopify? I don't do financials. I don't do energy. I don't do macro. I don't do much in industrials. I don't really do consumer. I don't really do hardware. I don't do telecom. I don't do media. I just do software and drugs. I love drugs. Energy? What do I know about energy? I just don't know anything about it. Okay, so this is the largest quarter in Tesla history. Yeah, that's right. 25.5 billion. Largest revenue quarter. Yeah, I mean, they're still growing very slowly. I mean, deliveries going to be up 3% this quarter, 2% maybe. It's not a lot. Pretty scary. Yeah, they've cut prices, right? And they lowered the FSD price. It looks like they're doing well in China. Micron earnings later today? Ooh, nice. I would just start studying drug companies by reading 10Ks of drug companies. Production being down 14% year over year is wild. They really have to have a nice Q3. Yeah, I think what we can do. I don't know. It's hard for me because I don't see. You guys see Tesla like really getting out of this like 400,000 deliveries number? It feels to me like they're kind of stuck at 400,000 a quarter. They've been there forever. Well, it's only been 2 years, I guess. Yeah, they need more models. I guess the idea is, can Cybertruck compete with F-150? We have a lot more to add. Volvo, Stellantis. Roadster. I don't know that the liberal thing is that big of a deal. Why can't the Cybertruck tow anything? I'll watch Worlds. I like white chicks. Then probably Hispanic. I mean, I guess like so, like white, European, whatever. Then Hispanic, then Asian, then black. Does that cover it all? Um, French girls, Czech, Polish. Yeah, Latin American, Brazil, Colombia. I've been with, I think, one or two half black girls. But I date an Asian woman chess master. I don't know. It depends on a lot of things there. Okay, I'd like to look at the cash flow from operations for Tesla going way back. So let's start with 2021, which we have here. Let's go to 2022. Let's go to 2023. Okay. Do the same thing for CapEx. And we get free cash flow. So you got $5 billion in free cash flow. We're talking about 120 times earnings. And the growth has slowed. Yeah, I would date a Russian girl. There are some beautiful Russian girls. I don't really love foreign girls. I like American girls, like plain Jane. So what's the deal with Cybertruck? Why is this? Why can't this be an extra 500,000 units for Tesla? People think it's cool, right? Let's look at what's a big auto site that's really good for autos? There's Teslarati, but there's a bunch of other ones. Motor Trend, Car and Driver, Auto Week, Auto Blog. There's one electric vehicle news site that's really good too. Inside EVs. No, it's this one, Electric. I read this in prison too. So this is a new story. Tesla's making progress on expanding Berlin, which I think we already knew. The other big thing is Tesla was supposed to be a software company with FSD, but it doesn't seem like it's happened. All right, when is FSD coming? And can they actually charge for it? Or do people assume that it comes with a car? Are they going to charge separate? But right now, it's either a one-time or a monthly, right? And they're charging separate right now, though, right? Mahmoud, I think you've got a good point. So my grippy. No, I'm not worried about I know it works well. I think it works well. It's going to work really well. I think. Look at Waymo. You're paying this big multiple for a reason, right? Either production has to go up, okay, right? Or ASP has to go up. If you can sell software in the car, it's a really great thing because the margin on software is enormous. Will people really pay for it, or do they expect it to come with the car? I have some friends that work at Waymo. They gave me a presentation. It was impressive. ASP's average selling price. I don't know, Cassius. I think we're in good shape for a lot of FSD, but no, I mean, I drove in the Waymos, of course. So you buy. How many people are buying the FSD with? Can you get this through deferred revenue? Like, so if I look at Tesla's 10Q, isn't their deferred revenue their software? Or can we somehow? They should report it, but do you don't do deferred revenue anymore? Oh, that it's a liability. I forgot. There it is. So doesn't deferred revenue represent FSD, who customers who? I mean, basically, if somebody pays for FSD up front, they have to book it as deferred revenue, right? What else would deferred? Well, deferred. You could have some. You pay, but the service is over lifetime of the car. So that's deferred revenue. You can't book all of it. I don't think. Sarah knows. Sarah knows her accounting. Yeah, I do think you need a lot of sleep for IQ. So that's one clue. There it is. There it is. Aha! What a clue. What a clue. This is good. We're cooking now. What's funny is their deferred revenue is 3.66 billion. But okay, so there's two deferred revenues here. We should combine these. What's the lifetime you think they would assume for FSD? Or for yeah, I guess for a car or FSD. 5 years? 10 years? So that would mean they're not selling very much FSD quite yet. Or at least most people who are getting FSD aren't getting the pay once, right? They have a pay once kind of mechanism, right? $199. It's seems like most people are paying the 199 if they have FSD. Sorry, I'm in a Tesla deep dive right now. Maybe I should let the world know. Wow, a lot of people watching. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. Do not come. Do not come. I'm gonna come! Fucking Trump. Crazy ass Trump. Okay. They have a Gigafactory in New York? Chat, did you know this? I guess Mega Factory is probably California. And there's Fremont. Their mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. They probably need to change that. Change that mission statement. Our mission is to make robots. Our mission is to do cool stuff. Yeah, so I guess one thing is that you're assuming that there will be um, a new Tesla kind of like platform that they're talking about, and I don't know when we're going to see that. Maybe we should look at their patents actually. Oh, do they file? I think they file patents. They just let anybody license them or something. Sometimes you can get a clue as to what's going on from the patents. all companies are about the future, right? And you can tell the future from patents because they're literally... I should probably use Google Patents. This thing kind of sucks. Too many requests in your user session. Shut the fuck up. You gotta be kidding me. Should exclude China. Here's a new Tesla patent application. Convolutional layers. Star-shaped convolutional filter. Have you guys heard of that? Star convolutional. I've never heard of that. That is bizarre. It's rectified linear unit activation function. Another ReLU. Interesting. Maybe I should try this. So that's what this patent is for. A new kind of... I guess Tesla's not doing too many archive papers. It's not energy related. This is pure neural network. And it was filed a few weeks ago. Kind of curious, actually. Let's see what else they're cooking. Method of synthesis for, I'm guessing this is kind of coding or layer. Did not think they'd have a chemistry patent. Carbonyl diimidazole one-pot methods. The hell are they doing with this? No Tesla. Oh, this is a Panasonic patent. But now, I guess one of the guys is a Tesla guy. Electrode films, that's battery stuff. Estimating object properties using visual image data, more neural network stuff. Anthony Musk James. Who? Who? That his kid? The hell is Anthony Musk James? Well, maybe somebody took a middle name. Stepbrother? Huh. Anybody heard? I don't think it's the same company. Tesla Biohealing Inc. I wonder if this is the new platform. So the title of this patent is Modular Vehicle Architecture for Assembling Vehicles. And this is definitely not something I know a lot about. I thought they were kind of already modularly assembled, but maybe not. I think their goal for the next platform is to get much higher margins, which would be one of the few ways for them to really succeed and not sell a lot more cars. I thought there was a like the Toyota system was hard to beat, so this would be like a re-engineering of the Toyota system. But it's probably more doable with EVs than it is with ICE. Sardine, I don't know. Why are you asking me this? I'm in the middle of the Tesla thing. You see that? You're not new to this. You're true to this. When you file a patent, there's, I don't know, half a dozen lawyers or one or two lawyers and the team that invented it. So this is the process they want to change into, maybe. That's interesting. If they could do it this way, the margins might improve 5 or 10 points, which would not be a small thing. I think that's what they're talking about with their next generation manufacturing. We're going to put patents on Goodell soon, too. How's my cassava holding up? All right, it's back down a little bit. No squeeze today. Let's continue with the 10Q, or 10K, I should say. Make sure all these numbers, double check our model. Well, it's actually slightly off here. No, I did less intelligent work for Kramer. I mostly got him coffee and water and food and that kind of stuff. It was not. It was 16 after all. I'm not on OkCupid. I wish I was. No such luck. $32,415. Harbs, kind of. Usually brokers will let you work your way out of it. But I have been bought in on a short. I once was bought in on a short that was pretty painful. It's very rare. Okay, so here's the balance sheet, and this is also, again, we're trying to figure out how does Tesla earn the 100x multiple, or even could they earn a 200x multiple? This isn't, just skepticism, blind skepticism. You have to also figure out the optimistic side. And the optimistic side is gross margins are 18%. Can they ever get to 20 or 30? What do they need to do that? That'd be unprecedented in auto, but if anybody can do it, it's Elon. Can they get production up? And any of these are sufficient, but a combination of them would be incredible. Can they get production higher? Is that a new model, or is it an extension of their current models? Can they get margins up for the auto? And then third, where's FSD, and how do people pay for that, and what kind of, what does that look like? So those are like three, and then we'll talk about Optimus as well. So those are sort of four, I guess, and Robotaxi. So it's 5 ways to earn a big market cap, a bigger one possibly. And I would say depending on which one, any one of those things are sufficient. Depending on which one, I would say 2 would be sufficient. And then again, depending on which one, you could get a big stock price. For example, right, I'm kind of bullish on robotics, but that's, I think, a very long-term play for Tesla. Today, it's a car company. FSD, with FSD, it could be more of a software company soon, but there's no transparency to actually how much software they're selling, and we're not seeing it in gross margin, so it can't be that much. And deferred revenue is about half of deferred revenue. It looks like is actually FSD. So that's important. Okay, let's take a look at that, actually. It's also interesting to look at their PP&E. If you're going to be selling a lot of cars, PP&E has to go up, kind of. Does that make sense? And notice that PP&E is going up, but it's not. I mean, hopefully you get scale on PP&E, right? If PP&E goes up 10%, hopefully that means you can sell 20% more. But it is something to think about. No, Parsec is good for like a remote login. And I'm a gamer as well. All right, here's deferred revenue. It's not, okay, it's going up a little. But they also give an FSD deferred revenue, which is amazing. They stopped doing customer deposits on balance sheet. I don't know why I can't get the balance sheet's balance. Usually, oh, there's a non-redeemable controlling interest. There we go. Got it. All right. Cash flow. You know what they call me. Fidel cash flow. Okay. So yeah, again, if you're generous and you're saying cash flow is sort of like normalized cash flow, it's maybe 8 or 9 billion. You're not quite paying 100 times for Tesla, which isn't bad. And when it was at like 150, you kind of had to be stupid enough not to buy it. At that price, it was sort of like 60 times earnings. I'm like Rain Man on these 10 Qs. I'm just looking at it like almost blind. I could probably look at it blind and stop at the right section. Hold on. Wait. Okay, proceed. Does anybody care about their solar business? I know it's growing pretty fast. Okay, searching for the word self is actually very helpful. Let's see. Tesla Semi. Semi's kind of been also MIA, right? Do they not? I guess it's new. This new disclosure of what FSD deferred revenue is. Let me search for deferred. I don't care about deferred tax assets. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Ah, interesting. So, FSD deferred revenue, year-end 2023, 3536, was 2913, grew 21%. And that's, I think, like 90% gross margin. Additions were 1201. So, you guys said it was $8,000, right? $8,000 for one of these? Right? And that's a one-time fee? Correct? Chat, can you even hear me right now? 80% chance we didn't go to the moon. Stop the bullshit. I'm going to take you to the moon and leave you there. Okay, so revenue recognized. This is interesting. So that would mean 150,000 people took that FSD option. In straight cash. Because if you take it in straight cash, it's deferred revenue. If you pay it every month, it's not going to be deferred revenue. I thought it was 8,000, Donnie, not 12,000. So they sold $1 billion of software against $97 billion. It's not that much. It's like they literally could. Every single vehicle could have FSD. What if we did that math? Does that make sense? It'd be 15 billion in high margin revenue, which is more than their whole cash flow. So they could actually break even on cars. But something's wrong here because if it's $8,000, oh, okay, I got it. So it's 150,000. So only I see. Let's do FSD penetration, and then I will do your mom penetration. But for now, 8% of customers took the FSD package. So if that grows to 10, then 20, then 30. When you say they sold 6 million vehicles in total, you mean since inception? It's more than that. A little more than that, but yeah. Yeah, if you go from 2023, yeah. But if you go from first 2 quarters of 24, and the next 2 quarters of 24, maybe more. Okay, so let me see if I can do this. Make a special software section for Tesla. Let's assume the amount of FSD goes to 12%. And that would be okay. And there are no cogs to that. So let's assume in 2025 that it goes to, I don't know, 16% of users. Maybe the price goes up, because they lowered the price on FSD, which is a little alarming. Okay. So, yeah, we got to include energy and services, although there's no margin in those, right? So we can exclude energy and services and just do raw. Do it raw auto. Okay, I don't have margins improving at all. Maybe I can give them a little bit of credit for new platform. We don't need to give a lot of credit, right? But it's Elon. We got to give him a little credit. Give him a little credit for that. He's pretty good at cost controls, I'll say that. But I should do percentage of revenue here. This I can remove. Will Bernie Sanders let Tesla have a 15% tax rate? Too bad, Bernie, we didn't ask you. $15% is ridiculous. Elon is the richest person in the world. He could afford to give $1 million to every single American. And he wants a 15% tax rate. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And he bought the Twitter, and they're making fun of me on Twitter. I'm 135 years old, and they're making fun of me. The billionaires. I'm assuming some countries will never be down for FSD. Okay, I have to exclude. Okay, auto cogs are here. Right? So gross margin is this plus this. Well, hold on. Gross margin is this plus this. So even, okay, so FSD is helpful, but it's not ever going to be the whole show. These aren't heroic assumptions. Okay, I think this is fair. Should I upload it? It's a pretty good investment. 45% upside. That's assuming no huge changes to the business, no taxi, no robotics. $2030 production, I have 5 million. Too much? That is a triple. I mean, Tesla's trading at 100 times earnings, not because revenue is going to go down. In fact, if you look at the historical revenue, they did. Look at the growth. The company averages 49% revenue growth, and I have them going to 13%. So this is the revenue growth. This is the history of revenue growth, and this is my forecast, this part. So that does not look unreasonable. We don't, Ante. We don't. It's a risk. It could go down forever and Tesla can go to zero and they'll never make a car again. Yeah, you have to discount cash flow into eternity. Day one looks like a good long. NVIDIA didn't invest in day one. Yeah, look, I mean, I remember when Tesla was missing in 2019 and people thought it was a zero. They were in for a rude awakening. I wouldn't bet against Elon. I think they're going to continue growing. And these aren't heroic assumptions. I mean, maybe the 2026 rebound of 30% is a little heroic, but I don't know. Growth for eternity should be negative. I have negative 1%. Yeah, I have the ASP growing too, which maybe it won't. But this is a decent estimate of the future. Again, could it be optimistic? Is it giving Elon too much credit? I don't always use -1. It depends. It's also not crazy because if you look at it, he's got a decade to quadruple his revenue. That's not crazy. He quadrupled his revenue in 5 years before. So I think he'll do it. And if I'm off a little bit, that's okay too. But again, the way he can really outperform is Optimus. Optimus, higher FSD penetration, Robotaxi. Those are just like big levers to outperform. I'm already including a bit of gross margin expansion, a bunch of FSD, and decent revenue growth. So I'm taking half of the upside and baking it in and leaving room for the other half. I hope you liked the cake I cooked. Made a nice, delicious cake for you. Well, gross profit is, not including non-auto gross profit, but as they're pointing out here, I don't even include the energy business at all. And according to this, well, shit, maybe I should. That would be all contribution margin. It's not going to move the needle much, but another 10%.